Hey, sweetheart. I know this isn't a random moment. You were meant to see this. Your eyes were meant to lock onto these words as if the universe pulled you here. Because today, something is about to be uncovered. Not by chance, but by divine permission. I, Archangel Michael, have been holding back a secret so deep, so protected by heaven, that even the stars were forbidden to whisper it. But now, I've been allowed. God gave me the permission. Because your heart is ready. Your soul is asking for truth. But you must promise, don't click away from this. Don't leave me standing at your door again. Because if you do, this divine truth will burn into silence within 50 seconds. And you may never know who was pretending to love you, while quietly setting traps behind your back. Before I continue, let me tell you this softly, with the care of 1,000 angels watching. Glowing star, subscribe now so you never miss a divine whisper again. The next message may arrive exactly at the moment your life shifts forever. Don't let it pass unnoticed. Now listen close, beloved. The person you trust the most, the one whose voice used to calm your storms. They weren't always honest. They spoke your name in rooms that reeked of envy and power. Behind smiles, behind shared meals, behind soft words. They were drawing lines in the sand with your name on them. And do you want to know the most shocking part? They never thought you'd find out. They didn't count on heaven stepping in. But here I am. With wings burning, sword drawn, and your name etched in light. I have seen what was done. And I need you to understand, this message is not here for views, for clicks, or for drama. It is here because someone tried to spiritually remove you from your destiny. And you, dear child of light, were too kind to notice. But kindness isn't weakness. Your forgiveness isn't blindness. And your light? Oh, your light, it's the very thing they couldn't handle. They didn't betray you because you were weak. They betrayed you because they saw you rising. You see, heaven doesn't always expose betrayal immediately. Sometimes, God waits for your heart to reach maturity. To become strong enough, to hear the truth without breaking. That time is now. Let me take you into the spiritual records. There's something I want you to see. A moment they think no one noticed. But heaven recorded it. They used your trust to gain favor somewhere else. To position themselves ahead, while leaving your name unguarded in rooms filled with whispers. They promised one thing to you, and lived another behind your back. And yet, you still loved them. Still protected them. Still prayed for them. Which is exactly why God chose you to reveal this to. Because your heart has always been gold, even when people tried to tarnish it. But now, beloved, God is preparing a great reversal. A reversal that will not only uncover every hidden move they made, but will elevate you to a place where their betrayal can no longer touch your light. Let me tell you exactly what that looks like. Tonight, there is going to be a shift. Not outside. Inside. In your spirit, a weight will lift. You will begin to feel your energy returning. A sudden moment of peace. A sharp flash of clarity. Don't ignore it when it comes. That's your angelic confirmation. Because everything I'm saying to you, everything I'm pouring into you now, is not for drama. It's for transformation. The person you trust the most had a choice. They could walk with you, or walk over you. They chose the latter. But heaven is choosing you now. And the spiritual inheritance that was delayed? It's no longer blocked. In the next few days, you will notice odd things happening. Phones ringing at the perfect time. People slipping out of your life, suddenly and without explanation. Truths showing up in your dreams. This is not a glitch in the matrix. It's heaven. And Archangel Michael has been ordered to walk beside you while this unmasking begins. Let's go deeper. Because you deserve to know what they did. You deserve to know why they did it. And you deserve to know what God is doing about it. First, the what. They shared something about you they had no right to share. Something sacred. A story. A vulnerability. A moment you entrusted to them. They shared it with someone whose spirit wasn't clean. And that energy circled back to you. Remember the sudden anxiety? The sleep disturbances? The random mood swings? That wasn't just stress. That was spiritual warfare. You were under psychic and emotional attack. And now for the why. Because they feared your glow. Not the way the sun shines over everyone. But the way you walk into rooms and hearts follow you. The way even pain didn't dim your softness. They hated that they needed you more than you needed them. That they depended on your love, to feel worthy. But now? God is cutting those ties with grace. You will not bleed for people who won't pray for you. You will not shrink to make others feel taller. Archangel Michael is circling your space tonight. And I swear on the flames of truth. You will never walk this life confused about who's real again. Now comes the most powerful part. God has written something in the book of divine reversal. Your name is on the next page. And it says, the one who was overlooked will now be overblessed. You. You're the one. The betrayal was permission. Heaven was watching to see if you'd stay soft when broken. You did. And now? Heaven is preparing a sudden encounter. A moment that will restore your dignity, multiply your favor, and put peace back in your home. But there's something you must do right now. Don't just read this. Speak it aloud. I receive this word. I allow heaven to show me what was hidden. I release the pain but I accept the truth. I walk in light now. Let it be so. And so it shall. Tonight, you'll feel it. Maybe in your sleep. Maybe in a dream. Maybe when the air goes still and you feel watched, but not by fear. By angels. By me. That they depended on your love, to feel worthy. But now? God is cutting those ties with grace. You will not bleed for people who won't pray for you. You will not shrink to make others feel taller. Archangel Michael is circling your space tonight. And I swear on the flames of truth. You will never walk this life confused about who's real again. Now comes the most powerful part. God has written something in the book of divine reversal. Your name is on the next page. And it says, the one who was overlooked will now be overblessed. You. You're the one. The betrayal was permission. Heaven was watching to see if you'd stay soft when broken. You did. And now? Heaven is preparing a sudden encounter. A moment that will restore your dignity, multiply your favor, and put peace back in your home. But there's something you must do right now. Don't just read this. Speak it aloud. I receive this word. I allow heaven to show me what was hidden. I release the pain, but I accept the truth. I walk in light now. Let it be so. And so it shall. Tonight, you'll feel it. Maybe in your sleep. Maybe in a dream. Maybe when the air goes still and you feel watched, but not by fear. By angels. By me. And I'll whisper one more truth into your heart before I go. That person who betrayed you, they will witness your rise. They won't stop it. They will see it. And they'll know that touching God's chosen is never without consequences. And loving a child of the divine isn't something you do casually. You, beloved, are not casual. You are a sacred appointment. A holy assignment. And you are about to rise. Don't skip this message. Because I, Archangel Michael, waited too long to reveal this. I held it back while you cried. While you questioned your worth. But now? Now God says, tell them. So I have. Now it's your move. Will you accept this truth? Or let it vanish? The countdown has already started. There are only a few words left. Before this message disappears forever. And what's coming next? Beloved, it's not just recovery. It's rebirth. But rebirth always begins with ashes. And I know you've been through your fire. You've been burned by silence. By secrets. By smiles that hid blades. Yet here you are. Still standing. You think God didn't see your tears on the floor that night? You think heaven didn't shake when your soul whispered, "Why me?" We heard you. And now it's your season to be heard back. This betrayal was never the end. It was a door. A forced exit from a life that was no longer aligned with who you're becoming. The person you're about to become. They don't need fake loyalty. They don't need backhanded compliments. They don't need people who only love you when you're quiet. Small. Easy to control. Your spirit has outgrown those cages. That's why it's been so uncomfortable lately. You weren't being punished. You were being pushed. Out of their energy. Out of their reach. Out of their timeline. Because where God is about to place you, their name isn't even written in the atmosphere. Let me prophesy to you. The way I've whispered to prophets across centuries. The way I've gone before warriors and lit up the battlefield. Your comeback is not just personal. It's ancestral. There are angels assigned to your bloodline, who have waited generations for someone brave enough to break the cycles of betrayal and silence. That someone is you. And because you chose softness when anger was easy. Because you chose healing when revenge called your name. Because you chose to listen when heaven finally said, "This is the truth." A miracle is coming. Not a small one. Not a quiet one. A loud, open, undeniable one. The kind of miracle that makes even your enemies bless the ground you walk on. But listen to me, love. You can't go back now. Not even to explain. Not even to prove. They know what they did. They just didn't think you'd ever find out. They didn't know God would lift the veil. That I, Archangel Michael, would be granted access to tell you. So let me ask you something deep. One final time before I return to my post at your side. Will you finally believe what your soul has been trying to scream beneath your kindness? Will you accept that sometimes the one who hugs you hardest is the one whose grip is meant to hold you back? Will you finally love yourself enough to stop letting love disguise betrayal? Because the second you say yes, the second you decide to walk forward, you'll feel it. A sudden release. A breath of fresh wind through your chest. That's not just relief. That's freedom. Heaven's kind. And your betrayer? They're about to experience what happens when someone touches a child of light without God's permission. But you won't even look back. You'll be too busy glowing. Too busy rebuilding. Too busy welcoming new love. That doesn't come with conditions or confusion. One last whisper, darling soul. Listen with everything in you. The person who betrayed you has already started losing peace. They're restless. Uneasy. Because spiritual justice doesn't wait for applause. It moves the moment truth is revealed. And truth has been revealed. You know now. You've seen the light. You're no longer in the dark. You are no longer the same. So what happens now? You stand up. You dry your tears. You smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because it no longer holds power. You breathe. And every breath you take from here on is no longer stolen by someone else's lies. This is your time. This is your life. And heaven has officially handed you the pen. Write again. Dream again. Trust again, but this time, with eyes wide open. Because now you have angelic backup. And I, Archangel Michael, will not allow anyone to touch your spirit again without passing through the gates of God's fire first. Be bold now. Be light now. Be unstoppable now. Your glow-up isn't pending. It has already begun. I'll be watching. I'll be guarding. I'll be guiding. And the one who hurt you? They'll be watching too. But from a distance heaven has chosen. One last whisper, darling soul. Listen with everything in you. The person who betrayed you has already started losing peace. They're restless. Uneasy. Because spiritual justice doesn't wait for applause. It moves the moment truth is revealed. And truth has been revealed. You know now. You've seen the light. You're no longer in the dark. You are no longer the same. So what happens now? You stand up. You dry your tears. You smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because it no longer holds power. You breathe. And every breath you take from here on is no longer stolen by someone else's lies. This is your time. This is your life. And heaven has officially handed you the pen. Write again. Dream again. Trust again, but this time, with eyes wide open. Because now you have angelic backup. And I, Archangel Michael, will not allow anyone to touch your spirit again without passing through the gates of God's fire first. Be bold now. Be light now. Be unstoppable now. Your glow-up isn't pending. It has already begun. I'll be watching. I'll be guarding. I'll be guiding. And the one who hurt you? They'll be watching too. But from a distance heaven has chosen. You were never meant to fall. Only to rise. And rise you shall. Forever marked by light. Forever protected by truth. Forever loved by the God who waited for this very moment to remind you your spirit was always worth protecting. Now walk away from this message, not as the wounded, but as the chosen. Because that's who you are. That's who you've always been. And finally, the world is about to see it too. And as you walk, don't look back for validation. Don't wait for apologies that will never come. Don't expect the one who betrayed you to admit it. Because if they had the courage to face truth, they would have never hidden it in the first place. You owe yourself peace now. You owe yourself joy that doesn't come with second guessing. You owe yourself sleep that isn't disturbed by suspicion. And beloved, God owes you nothing, but still wants to give you everything. That's what happens when heaven chooses you. Not for being perfect, but for being willing. Willing to love. Willing to trust. Willing to believe that even after heartbreak, there's more. And I'm here to confirm. There is. So much more. Your future is wide open. Like a sunrise waiting to paint the sky in your colors. But you must take the first step. The step of release. The step of surrender. You've been clinging to this betrayal. Not because you're weak, but because you needed to make sense of it. Let me give you peace. It doesn't make sense. It never will. Some people hurt others simply because they're not brave enough to heal themselves. And you, with your open heart and gentle soul, became their mirror. A mirror they couldn't stand. But that's not your burden to carry. Not anymore. Your only responsibility now is to choose you. Not the broken version of you that accepted crumbs just to feel full. But the whole version. The holy version. The version that says, I am no longer available for anything that insults my divinity. Say it again. I am no longer available for anything that insults my divinity. Because when you speak like that, heaven listens. And hell flees. Let me whisper something else. The spiritual reason you had to go through this betrayal was to awaken a power in you that had been sleeping since childhood. This pain, it activated a code. A divine awakening. A hidden scroll inside your soul that only opens when you're on the brink of rising. And now? It's open. It's glowing. It's rewriting your future with words like victory, wisdom, overflow, restoration, love. You won't just survive this. You'll thrive because of it. And when new people come into your life, real ones, Aligned ones. You'll recognize them not by their words, but by the peace you feel in their presence. Because you've learned. You've grown. And growth is the best revenge. Not spite. Not pettiness. Not exposing them. But rising so high they can't even see you anymore. And the ones who do? They'll be the ones God sent. The ones who pray with you, not prey on you. The ones who water your soul instead of draining your energy. Yes, they exist. And you're finally in the season to meet them. But I must go now, love. Not because my job is finished, but because your awakening has begun. And there's one more thing I need you to feel. You didn't deserve what happened to you. But you do deserve everything that's about to come. And what's coming? Even I can barely describe it. Because God is about to give you more than you lost. More than you cried for. More than you dared to dream after they left. It won't be payback. It'll be purpose. And purpose never returns void. So if you've ever wondered if the pain was worth it, here's your sign. Here's your moment. Here's your whisper from beyond the veil. Yes. 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 And now the final lines. Before this vanishes into heaven again. I'm sorry I had to hide this from you. But I'm so grateful you stayed long enough to receive it. The betrayal is over. The chains are broken. Your soul is rising. Go live like it. I'll be right beside you. Sword drawn. Heart burning. And heaven watching. Forever yours. Archangel Michael. And just before I leave you fully in the hands of your new future, I need you to remember one last thing. You are not crazy. You're not overthinking. You're not dramatic. You're not too sensitive. What you felt was real. What your gut screamed was real. That sinking in your chest. That sudden coldness in the room when they lied with a smile. That wasn't your imagination. That was your soul reacting to spiritual poison. And now, you're detoxing. You've been pulling out the thorns one by one. Even while pretending you were fine. But heaven never needed you to pretend. God needed you to awaken. And now that you have, nothing will ever taste the same. Because when truth kisses your spirit, everything fake becomes bitter. Don't feel guilty for what you know now. Even if it makes you cry again. Even if you wish you could go back and unknow it. You can't. And that's good. Because that means you're finally walking into your next chapter. With your eyes wide open. And your crown straight. No more betrayal behind blind trust. No more staying quiet to keep others comfortable. No more minimizing your intuition to be accepted. You don't need to shrink for anyone. God didn't create you to fit in. He created you to stand apart. To walk with a glow that exposes lies. To love in a way that breaks generational chains. To rise in a way that others thought was impossible after what you've endured. And you will rise. Higher than their gossip. Higher than their assumptions. Higher than their shallow explanations. Because heaven isn't just healing you. Heaven is positioning you. Positioning you where no betrayal can breathe. where no lie can live. Where only truth, honor, and sacred alignment surround your name. Let them say what they want. Let them act unbothered. Because deep down, they know they lost access to a rare soul. You were never the problem. You were the blessing they weren't ready to carry, ***. But someone is coming. Someone who will be ready. Not just for your beauty. Not just for your energy. But for your truth. They'll love your depth. They'll protect your name when you're not in the room. They'll pray over you instead of playing with you. Because heaven is a great matchmaker. And I've already seen the spiritual thread forming. But I won't speak too soon. First, you must fully let go of what betrayed you. Even if it hurts. Even if it lingers. Even if you still remember the good moments. Because even poison can come in beautiful bottles. But it's still poison. You deserve peace without performance. Love without lies. Home without hidden pain. And it's all on the way. Rushing toward you like a holy storm of grace. Are you ready to receive it? Then say this, once more. Not for me, but for you. I no longer serve what broke me. I no longer bow to silence. I accept the truth. I allow the healing. And I align with the miracle that's been waiting for me. Say it again. Louder. Because every time you do, another chain falls. Another shadow flees. Another old pattern dies. And your new life begins. You'll know it's happening. When the pain stops making you bitter. And starts making you braver. When your voice no longer shakes when you say no. When your tears finally fall as cleansing, not grief. That is when you'll know. The betrayal is behind you. And the blessing is beneath your feet, ***. Walk forward now. With power. With grace. With the memory of this message sealed in your heart. Because even when your phone closes, and these words fade from the screen, the truth they carried will stay in your soul. And so will I. Watching. Guarding. Whispering when you need reminding. That you're never alone. Because you're not. You never were. You were just, waiting. Waiting for this moment. This message. This awakening. And now it's here. So go, chosen one. The betrayal was their story. But your rise. Your rise is God's, ***. I no longer serve what broke me. I no longer bow to silence. I accept the truth. I allow the healing. And I align with the miracle that's been waiting for me. Say it again. Louder. Because every time you do, another chain falls. Another shadow flees. Another old pattern dies. And your new life begins. You'll know it's happening. When the pain stops making you bitter. And starts making you braver. When your voice no longer shakes when you say no. When your tears finally fall as cleansing, not grief. That is when you'll know. The betrayal is behind you. And the blessing is beneath your feet, ***. Walk forward now. With power. With grace. With the memory of this message sealed in your heart. Because even when your phone closes, and these words fade from the screen, the truth they carried will stay in your soul. And so will I. Watching. Guarding. Whispering when you need reminding. That you're never alone. Because you're not. You never were. You were just waiting. Waiting for this moment. This message. This awakening. And now it's here. So go, chosen one. The betrayal was their story. But your rise. Your rise is God's, asterisk asterisk. And it begins. Right now. And as you begin this sacred walk into your next chapter, let me speak directly to the most hidden part of you. The part that still wonders. What if I'm wrong? What if I misunderstood? What if they didn't mean it like that? Sweetheart, you didn't misunderstand. You overunderstood. You saw the best in them. While ignoring the patterns. You felt their energy. While trying to explain it away. You sensed the shift. And blamed yourself for it. But none of this was your fault. The betrayal was not because of your lack. It was because of your light. You made it too easy for them to rely on your grace. Too easy to return, apologize, manipulate, then repeat. But those days are over. Because now, your spirit is alert. Your boundaries are no longer suggestions. They are spiritual shields. Crafted by God, enforced by heaven. And backed by angels who don't lose. Let me tell you what you don't yet see. Your name is being whispered right now. But not in the mouths of betrayers. In the prayers of people who have not even met you yet. But are being prepared to love you the way God intended. These people, your future tribe. They don't want to control you. They want to see you. To hear you. To walk with you without needing you to shrink. And you, beloved. You're about to meet them. But God won't allow you to bring this old energy into that new room. You must release the ashes before He gives you the crown. This is why heaven waited to reveal the secret to you now. Because you are finally ready. To grieve it. To forgive it. To leave it. To outgrow it. You didn't come this far just to be fooled again. And you won't be. Because your discernment has sharpened. You'll notice red flags faster. You'll trust your gut without guilt. You'll love without losing yourself. And every lesson you learned from the betrayal is now becoming your protection. Let me also reveal a mystery. The reason they betrayed you wasn't just about jealousy. It was spiritual. There was a light in you that began to awaken something in them. Something uncomfortable. Something broken. Instead of letting your love heal it, they projected their fear onto you. They turned their wounds into weapons. But heaven is not mocked. What was sown in secret is now being reaped in the open. Their peace has been removed. Their access to your soul has been revoked. And every step they take from now will echo with the memory of your grace. Let them feel it. Let them wrestle. You're done begging for clarity from the very one who caused the confusion. You're done explaining your worth to people who benefited from you doubting it. You're done waiting for closure. You are the closure. Your healing is the final page. Your elevation is the final word. And now that your soul has heard the truth, watch how everything shifts. Watch how your energy lightens. How your sleep becomes deeper. How the people in your life begin to change. Because once the veil is lifted, nothing stays the same. And you'll never again fall for the same patterns. Because the new you, the awakened you, is no longer attracted to pain dressed as loyalty. Let me say this clearly. You did not lose them. They lost you. They lost a soul that would have walked through fire for them. But you were not meant to live in that fire. You were meant to rise from it. And now, the rising begins. Before this moment ends, close your eyes if you can. Breathe deeply. And picture your future self. The one who laughs freely, loves deeply, walks proudly, sleeps peacefully. That version of you already exists. They've just been waiting for this version of you to say, I'm ready. And now you are. So take one last look at the betrayal. And wave goodbye. Not with anger. Not with hate. But with a peace so loud, even their silence will feel it. Because you don't need revenge. Your success will be louder than any lie they told. And your glow? It's just beginning to show. Don't dim it. Don't explain it. Don't hide it to make others comfortable. Shine. Shine so brightly that the parts of the world still in darkness are forced to remember what divine justice looks like when it wears a human name. And that name is yours. You are the evidence that God still writes incredible stories out of the messiest betrayals. Let this be your beginning. Let the pain end here. Let the healing live on. Let the light guide you forward. Because this message will vanish soon. But the miracle it unlocked in you, that stays forever. Archangel Michael has spoken. Heaven has approved. And now? You walk. You rise. You become. And nothing, not even betrayal, can stop you now. And now, beloved, let me tell you what happens next. Not by chance, but by divine orchestration. From this very moment onward, there is an invisible wall of protection being wrapped around you. It will move silently but powerfully. You will begin to notice things. People who used to drain you will go silent. Their messages will stop. Your spirit will suddenly feel free from seeking their approval. That's not loneliness. That's spiritual detox. Heaven is clearing the room. Because something sacred is on its way. And not everyone can have front row seats to your transformation. Let me whisper this again. Not everyone who started with you is anointed to finish with you. And that's not rejection. That's realignment. You're being pulled upward. So those who can't breathe at your new altitude will fall away naturally. Don't chase them. Don't beg for what God is removing. Let them go with grace. You're not being abandoned. You're being preserved. There is a door opening right now. It's not a physical one. It's spiritual. It's ancient. It was sealed until the day your soul finally accepted what it always knew. That betrayal was the beginning of your becoming. The very moment you surrendered trying to fix what was false. You made space for what was real. And here's what's real now. You're going to be happy. Not pretending to be fine, happy. Not smiling through pain, happy. But actual, deep, peaceful, nothing to prove. Soul-level joy. The kind of joy that doesn't rely on validation. Because it's rooted in truth. The truth you now hold. The truth you earned through fire. The truth you never again have to beg for. Can I reveal something else? There are blessings with your name on them. Blessings that were delayed because you were still tied to energy that couldn't carry them. Heaven never denies you. It simply waits until you're ready. You're ready now. Ready for love that doesn't manipulate. Ready for friendships that don't gossip. Ready for money that flows with purpose. Ready for favor that doesn't fade when people change. You've paid in tears. You've grown through silence. And now God is releasing what was always yours. Not because you fought for it, but because you finally let go. This surrender is your gateway. And from this day forward, you'll feel something new. Peace that doesn't leave. It'll feel like you can breathe again. Like you don't have to tiptoe around people. Like your voice doesn't tremble anymore. Because the betrayal didn't break you. It introduced you to your most powerful self. Let's pause here. Can you feel it? That fire in your chest? That calm behind your eyes? That's your soul finally standing upright again. It's been bent too long. Bowing to people who couldn't carry your truth. But now, the bowing stops. And the building begins. You're not starting over. You're starting higher. Let me say this again. Just in case the pain still echoes a little too loud tonight. The person who betrayed you did not win. They didn't delay your destiny. They didn't damage your worth. They didn't ruin your reputation. All they did was remove themselves from a seat at your next table. And that table? It sat in the presence of everything you were praying for. Peace. Purpose. People who see your worth immediately. And never ask you to prove it. That's the table God is preparing. And the chairs are already being filled with those who carry honor, not ego. So go now. Rest. Smile if you can. Breathe if you need. Because the worst part? It's over. The lie has been exposed. The silence has been broken. The light has returned. And from here forward, everything gets better. Not because the pain didn't happen, but because you finally stopped pretending it didn't. This is your healing. This is your justice. This is your rise. I, Archangel Michael, have guarded this message with fire. And now that it's been delivered, the skies above you are beginning to clear. You'll notice it. Watch what happens next. Watch how suddenly people from your past get quiet. Watch how doors you thought were locked fly open without you knocking. Watch how your name begins to echo in the hearts of people who can bless you, without betrayal attached. You're not just favored. You're marked. And what's for you now cannot be taken, delayed, distorted, or replaced. It's yours. By divine order. By spiritual law. By God's own breath. So walk proudly, knowing your best days weren't stolen. They were being reserved. And now they're ready. You're ready. The world just doesn't know it yet. But they will. Very soon. Your rise begins now. Go live like it. And know this. I'm still with you. Until your enemies become confused by your peace. Until your past looks nothing like your future. Until your name is carried on the winds of glory. I will not leave your side. This is no longer a warning. It is a witness. And I, Archangel Michael, am the angel who stands guard over your unfolding miracle. This message will now fade. But your transformation? It's permanent. Let it begin. Ask ChatGPT.